establish nila, 2 beses po yata. Dalawang beses po nga. Tapos, pero po, may mga konting inayos po na binigay po sa kabinete natin yon at inaprubahan po naman nila pagkatapos.
Yung fina-flag po kasi namin po, the rates were approved September 4, 2024.
Yes, ma'am.
That's 6 months after the concession agreement. And sa concession agreement, parang isang malaking irregularity na may isang annex doon na blanco, nandun dapat yung mga rates, tapos na-approve siya. And then 6 months later, lalabas siya. So siguro po, minamanifest ko na, and I'd like to ask no, Mr. Chair, kino-consider nyo po bang ihinto muna or i-pause yung privatization efforts given na meron pong gantong irregularity and kayo po mismo yung nagtataka, bakit po in the first place nangyari siya?
Well, hindi ko po alam. Ma'am, ganito po yun eh. Yung sinasabi yung blanco na annex, nakalagay po yung annexes to sa concession agreement na pinirmahan po noong March 18, 2024. As far as yung opinion po na sinasabi nyo, hindi po ako pwede magsalita. Meron po ngayon kinaso po yata ngayon sa Supreme Court. Tinatanong po nila yung tutuloy ba privatization. Wala na po sa level po namin yun, ma'am. Sa secretary o kaya sa department na po yun, mga cabinet members na po. Pero ibibigay ko po yung kailangan po nyo, ma'am, na financial statement.
Sige po. A last line of questioning if Mr. Chair would allow it po. Sige. Yung last line of questioning po is in relation to the New Manila International Airport. May line item po kasi sa NEP 2026 for it. It's around 200 million pesos. May I confirm if this is true po, Mr. Chair?
Paano po, ma'am?
Line item po for New Manila International Airport po. Ito po ang pinaprove na, ito po sa subject din po ng San Miguel Corporation and with Ramon Ang.
That, Mr. Chair, if I may, that's the fund for the procurement of independent consultant, which is required under the concession agreement.
We'd like to just raise po, no, dahil meron pong findings yung Oscar M. Lopez Center, Philippine National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and even the UP Department of Geodetic Engineering and National Mapping Resource Information Authority or NAMRIA na nagpapakitang lulubog po yung New Manila International Airport dahil sa rising sea levels. Di po ito magiging usable in 30 years. So may I ask po, bakit po may patuloy na funding na ilalagay po for New Manila International Airport, albeit for independent, ano po ulit siya? Independent
Independent certified consultant po.
Yes po. Kung may gantong studies po na lumabas.
Mr. Chair, if I may answer. For two things po, Mr. Chair. Either patotohanan yung findings na yan, at kung totoo naman is to avoid it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so datong mga CIA, ano pong gagawin nila? Studies po ang gagawin nila, Mr. Chair?
The ICC is basically to review the entire concession, the design, lahat, ang implementation, malaki pong yung trabaho po. At yung findings po na nababanggit nyo, Your Honor, ay may isasama po dyan sa kanilang pag-aaral.
May we ask, Mr. Chair, for a breakdown of saan po pupunta tong 200 million pesos? Ilan po yung mga CIA na kukunin? Ano po yung functions nila, Mr. Chair?
We will comply, Mr. Chair.
Okay po. Ang last manifestation na lang po namin, given po yung lumalaki na usapin tungkol sa flood control, no, and paano natin gustong i-avoid, no, yung pagkakaroon ng mga iba't ibang infrastructure at kagamitan, public utilities na in the end ay lulubog, we'd like to manifest, no, ayaw natin ng mga palpak na proyekto. Ayaw natin na yung mga aksaya sa kalikasan at sa pondo ng bayan. So whatever yung findings po nito, syempre we're looking forward to it, but it's very alarming po na several po na mga credible sources of information ang nagfa-flag na itutuloy ito, and we'd like to, for DOTr to take this very seriously. Yan lang po, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. We look forward po doon sa mga information that will be submitted to the committee.
Thank you, Representative Rene Luisco. Just for the record, are there any members of the civil society organizations around who are interested in asking questions regarding DOTr, the budget? I'm
Okay.
turning the floor to our chairwoman, Mika Swansing.
Thank you very much po, Vice Chair Edwin Ongsuan. Thank you very much. Actually, a while ago, the question I was following up on the questions po because we have two accredited civil society organizations who we're engaged with for the People's Budget Review and throughout the deliberations who are advocates when it comes to the transportation sector. So we have Move as One and Safe Travel PH. So yun po. We just wanted to check which questions they have, and with the indulgence po of Secretary Banoy, will field the questions on behalf of the civil society organizations po as part of our commitment to ensuring that the budget deliberations are more open and are open to participation from our public and partner CSO. So, sir po, with the permission po of Secretary
Yes,
Banoy.
Madam Chair.
So the following questions that I will field. So there are four main. Oh. So the questions po that I will be asking Sec Banoy will be coming from Move as One. So the first area which they would like to ask questions on would be with regard to insufficient budget provision for active transportation. So the first question is, how does DOTr intend to create safe, accessible, and sustainable active transport infrastructure that can cater to all pedestrians, cyclists, and commuters, given that it allocated very minimal budget for active transportation?
Tama po sila, Madam Chair. First, we did not allocate a minimal amount. We requested for, I think, a sufficient amount for our active transport. But unfortunately, we were given a minimal amount. That's why we're asking this Congress to help us add the supposed amount, which will basically execute the program of active transport, Madam Chair.
Perhaps for the record of the committee, how much was proposed for active transportation?
We propose 2.5 billion, Madam Chair, and we were given 69 million, Madam Chair.
So I believe that was actively discussed as well, right? That
Yes,
was
Madam
very
Chair.
extensively discussed during the committee hearing. So the committee will take it into consideration as to whether there's fiscal space or whether we can make some adjustments within the budget of the DOTr to accommodate higher funding for active transportation. The second question po, would be numerous audits confirm that up to 80% of MRT, LRT stations still do not comply with accessibility standards, and that jeepneys, tricycles, bus stops, sidewalks, and elevated walkways remain largely inaccessible, excluding PWD seniors, children, caregivers, and pregnant women from transportation. While DOTr states it has prioritized elevator repairs and universal design for new projects such as the North-South Commuter Railway, Metro Manila Subway, EDSA bus concourses, and provincial bus systems. Existing infrastructure remains non-compliant nearly 3 decades after BP 344 and RA 7277 took effect. What concrete, measurable actions is DOTr undertaking now to retrofit existing transport systems to ensure compliance with standards?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, meron po tayong tinayong task force on this, basically on how to comply with the accessibility law. At pangalawa po, tulad po rin sinabi namin kanina, mga gusali po kasi natin ay naitayo na bago pa naipatubad ang batas ng accessibility law. Tumitingin po kami ngayon ng mga pondo at humingi po rin kami ng pondo para maayos namin ang ating mga MRT3, LRT1, LRT2 at na sa ganun ay we can comply with the accessibility law.
My apologies po, Sec Banoy. I was just informed that several of these questions have been fielded by the other representatives. Hindi lang kami na-inform that the other congressmen were also asked to ask the same questions. Kasi po yung commitment po namin is we'll make sure that all their questions will be fielded through the agency. So please bear with us lang po as I go through all the questions submitted by our civil society organization partners. The next area that they have questions on pertain to the fact that only 4% is allocated for road-based public transport. The first question is, the vast majority of the DOTR's budget is allocated to rail projects, which primarily serve Metro Manila and its immediate surrounding provinces. Considering that the majority of Filipinos reside outside the National Capital Region and are heavily dependent on road-based public transport, how does the DOTR justify this massive spending imbalance? Instead of investing the bulk of this budget into long-term and capital-intensive rail projects, why not prioritize and significantly increase funding for more immediate, cost-effective, and geographically widespread solutions such as pedestrian and cycling infrastructure, modernized terminals and bus stops, and service contracting?
Tama po. Malaki po ang kinalabasan sa ating rail projects kasi malaki po ang ating loan commitment dito at malaki po ang capital dito. At ongoing projects po ang mga to. Pagdating naman po sa ating mga road infra projects, tayo naman po ay talagang humingi ng budget at hindi lang po tayo nabigyan sa NEP. Kaya nga po ngayon, parang tulad po ng sinabi namin, Madam Chair, pagtulungan po kami sa Committee on Appropriation at magbibigay po kami ng sa tingin namin mga proyekto under road infra na makakatulong po sa departamento.
Thank you po, Sec Banoy. The next question, given that 84.3% of the proposed 2026 transportation budget is allocated to railways, while only 3.85% is for road-based public transport, how does the DOTR justify this massive disparity when the majority of Filipino commuters rely on buses, jeepneys, and tricycles? Is there a plan to rebalance this investment to provide more immediate and widespread benefits to the public? And what are the specific targets for increasing funding for road-based transport infrastructure and services in the coming years?
Madam Chair, that was the exact same question I answered a while ago, Madam Chair. Thank you po.
Thank you. Sorry, we're just going through like all the questions to make sure they're all asked. The third question, railways, while important, are expensive, long-term projects that take 8 to 10 years to become operational. How will the DOTR address the current and pressing daily struggles of commuters who use road-based public transport? What specific near-term projects or programs are included in this budget to improve the quality of life for millions of Filipinos now rather than a decade from now?
I will repeat my answer a while ago, Madam.
The next po pertain to insufficient budget provision for service contracting and PTMP. The first question, the proposed budget for the Public Transport Modernization Program, or TMP, is 400 million pesos less than last year's. While many transport workers who joined the program are still struggling with debt and banks have been losing confidence in the program. How can the DOTr justify this budget cut, and what concrete plans are in place to prevent the collapse of cooperatives and ensure the program's financial viability for existing and future participants?
Ngayon po talaga pong kailangan namin ng pondo sa PTMP at sa service contracting. Kaya nga po sinabi namin nung kami po humingi sa DBM, ang iningi po talaga namin ay yung sa tingin naming sapat para sa 2026. Hindi naman po kami nabigyan at kaya makikiusap po kami again to this committee, and we can identify, and hopefully we can identify other projects wherein we can show that we really need those programs.
Thank you po, Sec. Again, for the consideration of the committee po, we will take a look at the programs that were either underfunded or unfunded as proposed in the NEP. The second question, while we acknowledge the inclusion of a 1.3 billion peso budget for service contracting program and that it is a big improvement from last year's zero budget, it seems that at first glance, only a tiny fraction of transport workers will actually benefit from this. How many drivers and operators can realistically benefit from this 1.3 billion peso budget? How does the DOTr intend to significantly expand this program to make a meaningful impact on the income of thousands of PUV drivers and provide quality service to commuters, given that this is severely limited funding?
Madam Chair, in order for us to really have a meaningful impact, there's a need for us to increase the budget of the service contracting, especially so that we're now implementing the Love Bus program of the President, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Sec Banoy. And the last question pertained to budget success indicators that fail to reflect people and nature-centered priorities. The question is, current DOTr success indicators are too focused on the movement of cars, not people. To improve public transport, the key is not to increase vehicle improvement, but to improve convenience for commuters, cyclists, and pedestrians. How does the agency use its current indicators to effectively plan for people's mobility?
We agree with the observation po. That's why we cannot overemphasize the need to fund the active transport. And then that will basically veer away from the notion that the DOTr is a car-centric department, Madam Chair.
Sec Banoy, I was just hoping to ask, but I believe you explained your BUR, your budget utilization rate, earlier, but at the aggregate level for overall DOTr. We'd be keen to know po on the part of the committee to understand the BUR for particular projects, especially the big ticket projects of the DOTr. Gusto lang po namin makita yung utilization rate ng budgets for particular programs. So would it be possible to brief us? Siguro po, for example, the North-South Commuter Railway System, or the Metro Manila Subway Project Phase 1. If you may please provide us an overview of the budget utilization rate for the big ticket items of the DOTr.
I think we can present it again right now, or we can submit it, Madam Chair, at least to be more specific about it, not only the utilization rate, but maybe we could also include the actual accomplishment, not only of the civil works, but also the right of way. Ticket, we have in our presentation,
Yes,
Madam Chair.
please, Sec.
Okay,
Banoy,
we can
because
represent it.
the utilization rate from last year, I believe, for 2024 rather, was around 59%,
We
right?
agree.
So perhaps for the benefit of the committee, that's a sizable amount. That's a shortfall of about 41%. So kung pwede lang pong maintindihan namin, I was also briefed by Vice Chair Edwin that 49% na kayo as of July. 49% na yung disbursement as of July. So, siguro po, I would be keen to know yung 41% shortfall, essentially yung continuing appropriations from 2024 to 2025, ilang porsyento na po nung 41% na continuing appropriations from 2024 yung nagamit na po ng 2025?
Madam Chairwoman, can we submit it tomorrow morning? I think we have it. We just have to double. We just have to submit it tomorrow, Madam Chairwoman, if it's okay.
Would you have some preliminary data lang? Kahit overall lang po. Kasi siguro we want to make sure that if there are continuing appropriations, those appropriations would be utilized before the end of the year. Kasi 2 years lang po yung lifespan ng karamihan ng appropriations eh.
Madam Chair, from the 2024 continuing appropriations, we still have 56%, 54% more or less that we have to disburse.
Opo, just trying to understand kasi po 59% po yung BUR last year, 'di ba? So there would be 41% continuing appropriation. So are you saying it's 50% of the 41%? So you're roughly at is that what? So there are 20% more?
Yes,
Okay.
we confirm that, Madam Chair.
Okay. Sige. Kasi 50% of what, di ba? So it's 50% of the 41%. So will you be able to consume the remaining 20% before the end of the year?
We're quite confident, Madam Chair, that we can disburse it fully.
Thank you po. May I know what's the main driver for that the fact that the BUR for 2024 was only at 59%? What is the main driver? Is there a particular project that was delayed? Was there, or across the board po, yung relatively lower utilization rate?
It's more of certain policies, Madam Chair. The reason for the low disbursement, because before there was again centralized bids, centralized approval of variations and everything. So if the approvals are late, if the procurements are late, it follows that the disbursement of that projects would be late later. So now, Madam Chair, we reversed the original policy. This time we decentralized the bids, we decentralized the approval of VO, and I think we're having good progress. As I showed a while ago, there's an upward trend of our disbursement rate from March, when the Secretary assumed office, until July of this year, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Sec Banoy. That's actually what I wanted to hear. And that was actually what my next question was. Because if there is a big shortfall in terms of budget utilization, the next question is what is the agency doing about it, right? And it's comforting for us to hear that you've spotted essentially what was driving the low utilization in the previous years and essentially tweaked and reversed the policy that was driving that. So, okay po, we see that actually, and we see the results, given that even as of now, you're already at 49%, right? So, definitely, sana po malagpasan nyo yung 59% na BUR noong 2024. Meron na po ba kayong estimated BUR for year-end 2025?
We have an estimated BUR. I think.
Kahit-
If we continue with the trend and absence any unforeseen event, by November we can have 100% obligation. That is if we can have the allotment and the release of funds on time. On the same trend po, the forecast is that we can have 100% obligation by November.
So that's 100% of
Obligation.
continuing and new appropriations for 2025?
Yes. The formula that we did.
Yes, yes. No, I'm totally okay with the model. It's okay with regard to the revenue project. Nasaan na yung sa revenue projections. With regard to the BUR projection. So, that's good. I think that's what we really want to hear on our part. That the funds that are allocated and entrusted to the DOTr are not essentially going to waste, di ba? Hindi siya idle, but it's something that's actually being utilized and being implemented properly. So, yeah, that's what we wanted to hear kasi kanina lang medyo alarming lang on my part when I first heard about the 59% utilization for 2024. But happy to hear that would be that won't change for year 2025. Tas mas okay na. So, I guess before I end, I usually end with this question for all of the agencies that were able to meet. So here I see that there are a lot of items here that were listed that were proposed. That were proposed by the agency but were either not funded or underfunded in the NEP. So siguro po in terms of prioritization, Sec Banoy, are there certain programs po that you would advocate for? Now, if we're able to find ample fiscal space, which of these programs would you like us to prioritize?
There are po, and with the permission of the good Madam Chair, can we submit it also, Madam Chair, tomorrow maybe? Because there's a lot of projects and we have to basically consult with other of our different sectors. And of course, the priority projects of the previous secretary, we have to include it also.
Yes, actually. Okay, so we'll wait for that po. And if there are any other proposed amendments that the Department of Transportation and all of its attached agencies and corporations would like to put forward, please do so as soon as possible po. Sec Banoy, if possible po, within 48 hours, as we would need to deliberate all proposed amendments through the Budget Amendments Review Subcommittee po of the Committee on Appropriation. So that would give us ample time to deliberate on the proposals coming from the DOTr.
We will comply, Madam Chair. By Monday, you're going to submit.
2 working days, 48 hours. Okay, sige, sige.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, of course. Thank you, Sec Banoy. All right, so given that there are no other members who wish to interpolate the Department of Transportation after 9.5 hours, may I hear a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, Chairman of the Committee on Transportation, the Honorable Franz Pumaran.
May I move that we suspend hearing and resume? Madam Chair, I move that we terminate the budget hearing of the Department of Transportation, including its attached agencies and corporations. I so move.
Is there a second?
Dapat ako bukas pa.
There, there is a motion to terminate the budget hearing of the Department of Transportation as well as its attached agencies and corporations. It has been duly seconded, but before I rule on the said motion, I would like to thank our DOTr family, of course, headed by our very competent, very hardworking Acting Secretary, new Secretary of the Department of Transportation, the Honorable Giovanni Lopez, Sec Banoy. I know that the DOTr is in great hands under your helm. And of course, to all of the heads of the attached agencies and corporations, the undersecretaries, the directors, the regional directors, thank you very much for being here today and for spending 9.5 hours with us. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to closely scrutinize and deliberate on the proposed budget of the Department of Transportation. So it has been moved and seconded. The motion is carried. The budget hearing of the Department of Transportation's, the Department of Transportation, including its attached agencies and corporations, is hereby terminated.
Our profound gratitude, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Before we end, may I hear another motion? Please suspend the briefing. Suspend the briefing. Or hindi. Meron pa kasing DOH eh. Isususpend ba natin to? May DOH pa eh. Suspend to. Oh. Microphone. Microphone. Ay, ano na? Lobat na. Hello? Ayan. Sorry, mukhang ayaw pa po umuwi ng mga kasamaan ko. Kailangan natin po i-suspend yung mismong briefing. Yeah. May I hear a motion to suspend the hearing?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move to suspend the briefing hearing in today's, saan ba date ngayon? September 4.
There is a motion to suspend the budget hearing until tomorrow, September 5 at 9 o'clock in the morning. It has been moved and seconded. The motion is carried. This budget hearing is hereby suspended until tomorrow, September 5 at 9 o'clock in the morning. Ayaw po ako.